Hello and welcome everyone to today's video. Today I want to talk about some of the characters in Honkai Star Rail and their counterparts in Honkai Impact, because there is some characters that are direct another interruption of the same character with the same name or the same design, and there is one character that from the same universe of Honkai Impact. He is not from the universe of Honkai Star Rail, but from Honkai Impact. And for the convenience, I will call Honkai Impact Honkai in this video, but Honkai Star Rail, I will just call it Star Rail. So let's start first with Big Daddy Welt. If you didn't know this, Welt is not from the universe of Star Rail. He's of the universe Honkai Impact. So he travels of the universe of Honkai to Star Rail. So he's the only character that's not, at least until now, that is not from the universe of Star Rail. There is a lot of characters that are similar to Honkai Impact, but he's the only one that is from that world. Second thing, he has an anime studio. He produced an famous anime in the world of Honkai for his hero Welt Joyce, and also this Welt Joyce was his father figure and the person that he inherits the name Welt from, and also the power of Herrscher of Reason. And the Herrschers in Honkai Impact are a high creature with high power, that is godlike power. So he was really strong, but he did give his power to another person. That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Welt Yang was going to die, literally was going to die. He did take a fatal attack, but at that time he had the power of Herrscher of Reason, which is a power to recreate something if you have the knowledge of it, and especially weapons. But Welt did the impossible and recreate his body after taking that great injury, and that was during a war, or a great war in Honkai Impact called the Second Eruption. When Welt Yang was going in one of his last trips in the space, he was accompanied by this person called Void Archive. And yes, he's very similar to Lucha. We will talk about that later. So he was accompanied by this person, and let's say that this person in Honkai Impact was not a good person, or if we can call him person. So we don't really know if he can make an appearance in a Star Rail. I don't know if he has a relation to Lucha. I doubt that though. And the last thing about Welt, this is not confirmed 100%, but in Honkai Impact they throw something that he's married, and he might be married to, of course, Nikola Tesla in Honkai Impact. Yeah, the same Tesla we know in our world. Yeah, that's the same, but in Honkai Impact, yeah, he is now a girl with red hair. And now let's talk about Boronia. Yeah, not this Boronia, that's Boronia. So Boronia is inspired, of course, by one of the three main characters of Honkai Impact, Boronia Daichi. She is the one that inherits Welt's power for the Herrscher of Reason and become really strong. And when Boronia was young, her parents died, and her mother, after a little bit, also died. She was the second one to die, and she was given to a man who raised her and taught her to be a killer. Yeah, she was a killer from when she was very young, and at that time she was called with a nickname Silver Wolf. Yeah, that rang a bell. We will talk about that later. And after a lot of things happened in the story, she was sent to a school called Setofreya. Then she met the other two heroes of the story or heroines of the story, Mei and Kiana. And then also she met her teacher Himiko. And during that time, before going to the school, she was in an orphanage. And in that orphanage, her mother figure was Kokoria. Yeah, the same as Star Red. Her mother figure was Kokoria, and then she met Sally there. She was a friend with Sally from the childhood. Also the same as Star Red. And the last thing about Boronia, she is more design-wise from Boronia when she's mature, but not the Boronia in the main story for Honkai Impact, because there is a whole different gameplay mode in Honkai Impact that looks like a Devil May Cry, but there it's in the future and there is Boronia there, so she's a little bit more like Boronia when she's mature. Moving from Boronia to Sally, the other friend of her, of course. Sally also was raised in an orphanage from the very young, but in Honkai she has two personalities. After something happened to her, a new persona disappeared her, and she was to save her, and she's called Viliona. If we talk about Sally from Star Rail compared to Sally from Honkai Impact, she's way different from the Sally, the original Sally, but she has a lot of personalities from her other half, Viliona, or her other personality. She has a lot of things in common with her strong personality, or a lot of other things. She's very similar to her, but not as much as the original Sally. And moving from Sally to the other Boronia, of course, or Silver Wolf. And if you didn't know this, Silver Wolf or the other Boronia and the Boronia are the same Japanese voice actor. She did Boronia and Silver Wolf, and also she did, of course, Boronia in Honkai Impact. Silver Wolf is based in Boronia technically, but not the original Boronia that we know. She has a lot of uncommon with her, of course, in design, but she is based in this character that's called Boronia. And Boronia is basically Boronia, but from another dimension, universe, call it what you want to call it. But she's not technically Boronia, but she's Boronia from another world. What they share with each other, that of course they're Boronia, but they are not Boronia at the same time, and of course the same voice actress, and also they are both hackers. And after talking about the students, now let's talk about the teacher, or Himiko. Himiko in Honkai Impact is the teacher of the trio main characters, Boronia, Mei, and Kiana. And when she was young, she was a student in the care of Welt. So she is very close to Welt, also in Honkai Impact. There is not much common between Himiko and the other Himiko, but if you know what happened to the other Himiko, you know. I won't spoil anything in this video, of course, but I think most people know, to be honest. But I hope that this Himiko can extend on everything the other Himiko did. And also, there is a third Himiko if you didn't know about that. Because in Honkai Impact, there are two Himikos. It is the Himiko we know, that is, as I said, the teacher for Boronia. And there is another Himiko like 50,000 years ago that also looks similar, and she has the power of Herrscher of Flame, a very strong Herrscher, and she was killed. Yep, because she didn't control her strength and get out of control, so she was killed. And moving from Himiko to Lucha. And the character that Lucha is based off is Otto Apocalypse. And this is very nicely. He's a very good man. Yeah, he's not very good, but let's say he's one of the villains, but he's also not a villain. He's a very complicated character to learn. I cannot explain him that much. But also, this dude, Void Archive, has the same design. But that's just cheating because this thing, the Void Archive, is not actually, that's not his appearance, but he did check the appearance of Auto Apocalypse because he just copied things. So it's very complicated, but mainly Lucha is based on Auto Apocalypse, and Otto has very good healing techniques for himself. At least he didn't share it for the others, but he did have very good techniques for himself for healing, or even swapping bodies. And also, Otto Apocalypse was beyond loving this character called Kale, and she died, and he was one of the reasons of her death, and he was really angry about that. So I don't know, that Lucha coffin, maybe she's there. I don't have much to say about Yangshin, but he's not directly in the game 100%, but he's also in the lore of the game. But this is his design. Yeah, they make this old daddy, this child. Talk about adapting a character. But he was very bad relation with this character, Fuhua, which might appear in the story later on Honkai Star Rail because she was one of the main characters in Honkai Impact. So she might appear in the story, but he was in a very, let's say, very bad relationship with her. And the second to last character is Sushang. Sushang, that's her. Yeah, she's dumb in both games. She's very dumb in both games. That's so common between them. But in Honkai Impact, she used a short sword or a sword, normal sword, and here she's using a big sword. In Honkai Impact, she's throwing a big sword out of the sky in her ult. And here she's she's Phoenix. Let's not say the other word, but a big chicken. She was serving Auto Apocalypse that looks like Lucha, but she didn't really agree with him, so she was just swapping sides. But her main reason was to fight Fuhua, the same character that said was not a good relation with Yangshin, and she was her student. Fuhua was the teacher of a lot of students, and one of them was Sushang. And the last character is Kokolia, of course. Yeah, we don't have her living anymore in this world, but it's another story in Honkai Impact world. But she's also the, as I said earlier, the mother figure for Boronia and Sally, because she was the one that raised them in the orphanage. And even in Honkai Impact, she wasn't a good mother. In both games, she's not a good mother for them. And she did a lot of twisted things to gain something for her. But the problem is she also loved them. In Honkai Impact, she loved Boronia, but also did those things that didn't make Boronia happy at the end. But she also loved them. She was quite the character. And fun fact about these characters, Boronia, Sele, Cecilia, they were also in Siberia because Honkai Impact is based in a real map. So yeah, they are in both games, they are in a snow area. And lastly, I just want to mention that, yeah, we might say another Raiden Shogun slash of course in this world, because she's in every world, because why not? I mean, why not add a new Raiden or another May, A, whatever her name in this world? She's in Genshin, she's on Honkai Impact, why not in Honkai Star? And I very expect that she will be, of course, and whatever the planet is for Japan, because mostly there will be planets for Japan, there is now for Russia and for China, there will be for Japan, and we might meet her there. And that's it for this video. If you liked the video, put a like, share it with your friends if anyone is interested, and subscribe, and see you in another video.